Mario Kart World is out today. So I was planning on making this video a lot earlier, but I made it a little bit late. But now we're going to talk about it. I think it's going to be a good game, but there's definitely some stuff I want to talk about. I think Mario spin-offs are funny because Nintendo invests so much time and effort in the Mario Kart games that they kind of forget about their other spin-off games. And that's kind of what it's been like for the past decade, at least. So, I think that's funny because I swear there used to be a time, maybe there's never been a time, but I swear there used to be a time where the other spin-off games were thought as highly as Mario Kart. At least like some of the tennis games, you know, some of the baseball games, Super Mario Sluggers. There's a lot of cool stuff about Super Mario Sluggers. And you can never imagine a Mario tennis game at launch. I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think that ever will happen. I think there might have been one for the 3DS, but I don't think that was real. I don't think that was at launch, at least. I'm not a huge fan of the Super Mario World, the Mario Kart World rainbow logo. I think it looks kind of ugly. It reminds me of Super Mario, Mario Sports Mix. And that game was also really interesting, but also that game was really cheap. So with the rainbow logo, I'm not saying it's a completely ugly, but like it gives off the cheap feel that Mario Sports Mix gave. And that's kind of unfortunate. That's kind of like a bad luck charm, I guess you could say. No matter what, the game's going to be successful. And I don't think the sales, I don't think it's going to get dethroned ever. Like you look back on all the past consoles, it's not going to get dethroned. I think Mario Kart has led like Wii U, Switch sales. It's not going to happen. The Mario Kart hype is just too real, and it's one of the highest grossing racing games of all time. It's not going to get dethroned. In a similar sense with Wii Sports, like Wii Sports is crazy. Like that game sold out like crazy on launch day. I feel like this is going to be a successful launch day as well with Mario Kart World. You know, it's been 10 years since a real Mario Kart game. So yeah, I think over 10 years, I think, but people are definitely ready for a new Mario Kart. I think the game is heavily inspired by Mario Kart Tour, which is, I respect. Mario Kart Tour. There's some real hype with Mario Kart Tour when it first came out too. I remember people in school playing Mario Kart Tour, and I was like, oh, I didn't know people would like Mario Kart that much. But sure enough, it was like our whole high school was playing Mario Kart Tour for a little bit, for like maybe a month, and then it died out. But, you know, the hype was definitely real at the time. But, I mean, if you look at it, there's so much inspo from Mario Kart Tour, like with all the costumes and some of the characters are coming back from Tour. And even if you look at the Mario Kart 8 DLC, there were courses being pulled from Mario Kart Tour. So I feel like they do consider Mario Kart Tour a real Mario Kart game, which is kind of interesting to think about because I feel like a lot of people would kind of just view it as like a spin-off thing. But no, Nintendo views it as like a real thing. I was thinking this too. I wonder if there's going to be any microtransactions with Mario Kart World. I think that'd be an interesting concept if they had microtransactions. I don't think they will, but I think it's interesting. And I'll get back to that later. Remind me about it. I'll talk about that later because I have a lot of talking points I want to talk about. Let's talk about the roster. I am upset that the character roster wasn't this detailed for Super Mario Strikers Battle League, which it was a game that I was very excited for. And then you look at that game's roster, and it's bare bones. It's bare bones. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. They focus so much on Mario Kart, they forget that people like their other spin-off games too. It's just a matter of putting that effort in. If only they put in the Mario Kart effort that they would to their other games, because Battle League could have been such a cool game. But it flopped. I'd like to think it flopped pretty hard. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I mean, you look at the other Mario Strikers games, and they have an amazing roster. And then the new one comes out, and it just has a Mario Tennis Aces roster, or basically a Mario Tennis roster, which is just embarrassing. Embarrassing. Terrible. Enough about that. I kind of was thinking about Super Mario Sluggers as well, because that has an insane deep roster. And I feel like that is the main selling point of Mario Kart World, is how deep the roster is. That's pretty cool. That's pretty exciting. Super Mario Sluggers also had a deep roster. It had King K. Rool. It had Diddy. It had the Piantas. I believe that's how you say it. But it had a deep roster. And this one looks like it has a deep roster too. But I kind of am curious if they are going to pull from some more DK characters, because I think that'd be fun. Looks like no Diddy so far, which is weird because he was just in the DLC. And it'd be weird if they made him DLC again. I think that'd be weird. Same with PD Piranha. I don't think he was in the game either. So I think that is a little weird. Like, you know, they just had him as DLC. You know that the fans like him. You know the fans want him. Why scrap him? But Diddy did get a new design, so I feel like that might be part of it. PD Piranha, I can't explain. Maybe they just got lazy. I don't know. I'm kind of glad that the Brutals aren't characters. I'm also kind of glad that the Koopalings got scrapped. That is good news, because I don't like those characters. I mean, some of the Koopalings are cool, but, I mean, half of them feel like clones of each other. And if it's any characters that need redesigns, I want to say it's, like, maybe half of the Koopalings. I think that'd be smart. But I don't know if they'll ever do it. But it would be smart. We'll have to wait to see. We'll have to wait to see for the new Mario Kart movie to see if, not the new Mario Kart, the new Mario movie when it comes out, to see if they change the designs at all. Because if they change the designs in the movie, that means they'll probably change it for the video games too. So, gotta wait and see for that. I think the Turkey Chef from Mario Odyssey would be a good character. I don't, maybe too late. Maybe we're looking at DLC now. But I think free updates would make sense. Make a free, this is Nintendo we're talking about though, so they're not going to do a free update character. They did with some of their other games, but I don't think Mario Kart is one of those games. I think there might be a lot of DLC for this game. But I like the Turkey Chef character. Let's make him a mainstay character. There's some other Odyssey bosses that are kind of cool that I'm like, let's bring him back. Super Mario 64 bosses get put everywhere. And they have amazing recognition. Like King Boo, okay, King Bomb Bomb. I would love to see King Bomb Bomb in this game. But they should do that with their other bosses. Like, come on, Turkey Chef. Turkey Chef would be a great character. You can't tell me he wouldn't be a good character, because I know he's a good character. So yeah, you can't convince me Turkey Chef. You know you want to play as Turkey Chef. You know you want to play as Turkey Chef. But there's one character that I would want to play as more than Turkey Chef. And it's, well, King Bob-omb is definitely up there. But also Womp King. Where is the love for Womp King? Womp King needs to be in every single game. He's so funny. He's probably the funniest Mario 64 boss. And he hasn't been put anywhere. I don't even think he was in the movie. They just hate him. They hate, maybe his story is too deep or political. I don't know. But Womp King, I think, should be put in this game. I don't know what the costumes would look like for him, but I love Womp King. Put Womp King in everything. 2025. Another idea I was having for this game, like I said, probably way too late. The game just came out. But I think it would make so much sense for this game to have a Battle Pass-like system. I know some people might get upset with that. Some people might get angry. But Mario Kart Tour basically had a Battle Pass. So who's to say that Mario Kart World can have a Battle Pass system? And I think a lot of the trendy games are starting to have a Battle Pass. Look at Marvel Rivals. Look at Fortnite. Call of Duty. There's so many examples. I think it makes sense for this game to have a Battle Pass. And instead of a player DLC like they've been doing for the past installments, make it to where you can buy costumes. Make a Battle Pass with costumes. Lean into the costumes idea. I'm for the costumes idea. I think that's a fun idea. Lean into the costumes. Make costumes you can buy. And you look at these other games like Marvel Rivals, you know people are going to buy the costumes if they look good. And it doesn't have to be expensive either. Make it, you can make it affordable. Make it $2 per costume, $3 per costume. I don't know. But I think that's such a smart idea. And maybe some in-game currency too. Like maybe some coins, some stars. I don't know. But some in-game currency, I think that'd be a fun idea. Obviously, a free version of the Battle Pass and stuff too. But I think a Battle Pass system would make sense. And guess what? If they did that, Mario Kart World could be the final Mario Kart game. They could just keep updating the game. They don't have to make new Mario Karts. They could just they could ride the tails of this game forever. Obviously, updates and stuff like that. Maybe bring in a whole new set of courses. I don't know. But I think that's a fun idea. I would love to see hidden characters too. The game just came out today. I don't know if there are hidden characters, because it seems like they like to reveal everything nowadays. But back in the Mario Kart Wii days, stuff like that, the hidden characters were so cool in that game. And this game deserves to have hidden characters too. I don't know who. The game came out. You could probably tell me in the comments who they are. But it would be so cool. It would be so awesome. It would be so cool. Rob got demoted to a bike. That sucks. Rob should be a character. But I do like exclusivity in games. Like Honeybee Queen. Honeybee Queen is probably only going to be a character in Mario Kart 7. But that's a reason to go back to the game. That's a reason to go back to Mario Kart 7. Is because Honeybee... Hey, this is the only game with Honeybee Queen. Just like Mario Kart DS, Rob's is the only time Rob's playable in a Mario Kart game. That makes it fun. That makes it like, okay, well, yeah, I want to play that game because this is the only game I can play as this character. So I think that's fun. You know, there's some fan favorites I'm like, you know what, it makes sense. Don't bring them back. I think Rob might be one of those. As much as I love Rob, I think Rob might be one of those cases, and Honeybee Queen might be one of those cases. But I do kind of like Honeybee Queen too, just because she's so odd. That's why I'm like, you know, Turkey Chef, come on, make it happen. But I think it does make sense. And you look at Super Smash Bros. Ultimate too, and like, that's probably going to be the only game where everyone is playable from the past installments. Like, that's gonna make Ultimate special. Like, there's gonna be some major cuts for the next Smash Bros. Game. I'm expecting it, at least. I do want the roster to be I want the roster to be Mario characters only, because they kind of leaned into Super Nintendo characters, like with the Link, the Inklings, and Animal Crossing. But see, that could be the replayability for those games. Be like, oh, well, this is the only game you can play as Link. This is the only game you can play as the Inklings. I think that's cool, but don't bring them back. I feel like this game needs to be extremely Mario-centered. So keep it as much Mario as you can. Also, Toadsworth. We need Toadsworth. Make Toadsworth playable. It's been too long. He should have been playable 20 years ago. But now's your chance. Make him playable. This is a little side thing that I completely forgot that I had put this down. This is going to be a little rant for me about the Switch 2. If you haven't seen my other Switch 2 video, make sure to check that out. You guys seem to love it. So go ahead, check that out. Link in the description. But I'm going to complain a little bit about the Switch 2. I think the Switch 2 should have a music incorporated into the Switch 2. I think that'd be fun. Imagine if the Switch had Spotify like all the other modern consoles. I think that would be fun. I don't know if there's some legal things going on there, but I think that would be fun. Does the Switch 2 even have Netflix or streaming services? I'm not sure. Because why do I feel like it doesn't? I do. I mean, I think Hulu and YouTube and stuff like that, but for some reason I feel like they don't have Netflix, and I don't know why. Or Disney Plus, which I think is kind of weird. But if the Switch 2 had Spotify and it's portable, a portable Switch with Spotify that you could like bring anywhere would be so cool. But going back into this, not only would it be cool, but it'd low-key be a reason just to buy the Switch 2. Maybe I'm glazing there, but I do feel like having Spotify, like playing games while you can listen to music at the same time. I know you could obviously do that with a phone or something, but it's different if it's all in one. It makes it cooler. And I was thinking of a music mode. What if Mario Kart World had a music mode? And it'd be like a radio. Like the car has a radio. Cars have radios. What if Mario Kart cars had radios? And also, this could be a feature that they could put in, because Nintendo has their own music app. I don't even know if that's accessible on the Switch 2, but it would make sense. You know, more software is better than no software. Just make your own software and put it in the Switch 2. That makes sense. That just makes too much sense. But like, you know, if they can't get the licensing agreements for Spotify for whatever reason, just put your own app in. It's your own app. Just put it on the Switch. And, you know, you could listen to other Nintendo music. There would be people that would do that. I don't know if I'd be one of them, but I know that there'd be people that would do that. But a radio, like, you know, it's basically just listen to music while you're playing the game. I think that'd be fun. Think of, or, think of GTA Radio. Like, GTA Radio is iconic. What if Nintendo spoofed that a little bit and put in their own radio station? And, you tune in and it's like all these characters talking and their voices and stuff. Even if it's a show, too, I think that'd be funny. Like, imagine you hear, I don't know, Monty Mole talking about politics or something. Like, that'd be funny. This is a very heavily inspired GTA game, GTA-like game, too. So if they put in, like, a GTA-like radio, where, like, you can flip the channels, or, like, Fortnite radio, too, that would be cool. That would be so cool. Another little complaint. The Switch 2 should have a camera on the tablet. I don't think it does, but it really should. And I'm guessing they don't, and I'm guessing that will never happen because the main selling point of the Switch 2 is also buying the extra camera. So I'm guessing, what used to be a feature is now pay more money to get with the Switch 2 camera, which is kind of silly. But anyways, I digress. But, if the Wii U gamepad can have a camera, why can't the Switch 2 camera Switch 2 tablet have a camera? Like, that was 10 years ago. We're regressing. We're regressing a little bit. But I talk about that because Face Raiders. Imagine a Face Raiders 2 on the Switch. It would be cool. Face Raiders was cool. And kind of like the 3DS, it'd be easier to gauge the facial expressions if it was on a tablet. Think about it. No one is going to be looking directly at the camera, the Switch 2 camera that you have to buy if you're playing the game. No one is going to be looking directly at that camera. But if it's on the tablet, you're going to be able to see the face a lot more clearly than you would an extendable camera. So, missed opportunity. Maybe Switch 2 Pro will have it. I don't know. But why I'm bringing this up, I promise there's a point. I think it'd be cool if this game, Mario Kart World, had like the little Mario Arcade filters. If you ever played Mario Arcade before, really fun. It had filters that you could put on each other's faces. Like, if you played Mario, you would get like a Mario face attached to your face. And I think that'd just be a funny little idea that they could totally play with and do. But probably won't. Another thing I want to talk about, Amiibos. Amiibos still exist, somehow. But I think there's a market there to keep Amiibos up. And a big thing that they could probably do, that they probably won't do because the game came out today. But I think it'd be so fun to have an Amiibo wave of all these insane roster of characters. Make a whole Amiibo wave for it. That's free money. That's free money. There's so many of these characters that have never been made into a toy, made into a figure. And if they make a whole new Amiibo wave for it, I don't know if they'll put them in carts. I don't know. There has to be some sort of rendering. There have to be some sort of renders they can put into a toy position for Amiibos. But I think Amiibos would make so much sense for this game. Even if it's cards, even if they want to get lazy and do cards. Because I want the Moo Moo Meadows cow Amiibo. I do. And even the crab looks cool. I would buy a crab Amiibo. And I think my idea is if they made their own Amiibo set, Amiibos would make so much sense for this game. Because, you look at the other Mario Kart games with Amiibo function. Cool. You get costumes. What is one of the main functions of this game? This main function of this game and replayability and stuff like that is going to be the costumes. So imagine you had Amiibo Imagine if you had Amiibo, and the only way you could get these costumes are if you get the Amiibo. That would be so cool. That would be so cool. That'd be like, okay, it is cosmetics, it is DLC, but also you get a figure. Also, you get a figure with it. That would be so cool. It makes so much sense. Each Amiibo would unlock an exclusive costume for that character. That makes so much sense. Free money. They're not going to do it. If they do it, please give me my money, because that's my idea. Anyways, I digress. Free money. Don't do it, Nintendo. I understand. Some new features that I would like to see that, once again, probably aren't going to happen. A Mario Kart ranked mode. Ranked, like Fortnite a little bit. Fortnite, any competitive game has a ranked mode. Mario Kart previously doesn't really have a ranked mode. They have a way to get higher and stuff like that, but like I'm talking like actually ranked, like letters and stuff like that. I guess Mario Kart Tour kind of has that, but it's not scaled in depth. If they had an in-depth ranked mode, especially if they had seasons and battle passes and stuff like that, I think that'd be really cool. And maybe even exclusive costumes, exclusive rewards for ranking so high and stuff like that. That makes so much sense. It'd be so cool. And it'd be cool to double down on it. And a way for us to see who is the highest ranked Mario Kart players. That'd be so cool. That'd be a reason to keep playing. I don't like the new replay feature that they announced that they're doing. It should be banned from online mode. I really hope it is. Because if you look at a lot of competitive Mario Kart, there's people that tank on purpose. There's people that get in last place on, it's called bagging, I believe. They play bad on purpose so they can get the special good items. I really hope that feature isn't an online, because then people are gonna be replaying on purpose just to get the good items. Like, that sounds kind of silly. If it's, if I'm a kid and I'm playing solo, not online, it makes sense. Like, yeah. And especially for the open world map too, which I haven't really talked about. I feel like that would make sense. Like, yeah, I missed the big jump for the mission. I want to replay. Let's Let's do that. That makes sense. I also think what would make sense is a story mode. For some reason, I can see that being DLC. I could see a story mode being DLC. But, did they rush the game? Because this game just makes so much sense for a story mode. Like, you have an open map. Every Mario game with an open map has a story mode. Except this game, I find that hard to believe. There had to have been something scrapped there. There had to have been. But it could be DLC. If they still care about it, if they still find the time for it, they could make it DLC. That's not completely foreign for Nintendo. They've had extra story attached to the story, like bonus story attached to their previous games as DLC. So that wouldn't be completely foreign. But I feel like this game is missing it so bad. It's missing it so bad. Bring back the boss modes and stuff too. This game could load up on that and thrive with that. I think that'd be cool. I don't know why, but I put MC Ballyhoo here. Maybe I want him as a character, I don't know. But MC Ballyhoo's cool. Now that I say that, now I'm kind of remembering. Okay, this game, MC Ballyhoo was created for his game, respectively, for Mario Party. This game feels like a game where you need its own respective character just to commemorate the game. Like, I could totally see that. Drive to this location to complete this world, do all that stuff. It just makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. Another thing I want to say, I don't know if it's been announced. I mean, the game came out, so it probably has. But I like the idea that all the tracks are connected a little bit, but it does seem like you're driving straight in a lot of the areas, so that's a little weird at times. But I do think it's a fun idea. It's a fun idea that they're all connected. And I think it just makes sense to, okay, well, they're all connected. Have all the rainbow roads connected. Have a rainbow road world. I think that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool to have the rainbow roads connect. But that is another thing that I did want to say too. And I actually had this idea. No one's going to believe me, but I had this idea that before this game was announced, that they should have a Mario Kart where the courses are fused with each other. I think that'd be such a fun idea. And this game has an opportunity to kind of do that. Doesn't look like they're going to. It does look like maybe the themes are going to connect with each other and stuff, which I think is cool. But at least for the driving to the other tracks portion, they could have really played into that a lot more. Because there's so many tracks that are all really similar with each other. And they could have played into that a lot more and be like, oh, well, here's the funky segment going from this track to this track. That makes it fun, and you want to play it because it'll be fun, not just driving in a straight line, looking at the tumbleweeds kind of deal that it looks like it is. That's kind of disappointing. I'm going to talk briefly about the items and stuff. Oh, I guess one thing I wanted to mention too about the Battle Pass thing, because I do think that's a good idea. I know they're not going to do it, but I think it's a cool idea. And buying the costumes too. I do think that's a good idea. Obviously, the free costumes in the game is great. Don't change that. But I think if they want to make money, instead of DLC, instead of characters, make costumes. Make really cool costumes that people would want to buy. I think that's cool. And, you talk exclusivity with battle passes and stuff like that, too. They could play into that, do something silly and goofy. I remember with Splatoon, there wasn't really battle passes and stuff, but, like, with the Splatfest, it was like, oh, I want to play this Splatfest, because what are you telling me? Like, a SpongeBob Splatfest? That sounds so fun. Like, I don't want to miss that. Or like the Autobots versus Decepticons Splatfest. I don't want to miss that. So if they had like a battle pass like thing, oh, this is going to happen. I don't want to miss that. That's so real. And they could totally play into that. But another thing too, I think it would be funny for them to add emotes. This game, imagine blue shelling someone and hitting an emote. That would be so funny. That would be so funny. There'd be so many funny emotes they could do. Maybe character exclusive emotes, kind of like Marvel Rivals does. I don't know. But especially since this game is open world too. Maybe there are emotes in the game. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But it'd be so funny if there was emotes in this game. It would make for so many clips. It'd be so funny. And it's time. It's 2025. The game needs to have emotes. Every game has emotes. It just makes sense. But I do like the idea of emotes. And it's another thing you can unlock. If they want to do, I don't know. I don't even know if there's like a kart unlock thing for this game. But there should be. I feel like all the other ones have had karts that you can unlock. But make it to where you can unlock emotes too. That'd be cool. That'd be pretty sick. I don't like the items. I really don't like the items. I think the hammers are the best items. The ice flower is dumb. Ice flower is so dumb. It's just a reskin. A lot of these items are just reskins. And I don't like that. Really lazy. I don't think I've heard anyone else talk about it, but the items look really lazy and really dull. Yeah, really stupid. Ice flower is just a reskin. It would have been nice. And maybe even different functionality than the fire flower if they could make an animation where the character actually turns into an ice cube, just like the games. But they couldn't even do that. They just kind of put a little frozen texture over the characters. So, that sucks. Ice flower sucks. I don't like the Kamik item either. I wish I don't like it. I think it's stupid. It's gonna be chaotic, but I think it's stupid. And maybe I'll change my mind if I get to play it and like actually use the item. Maybe I'll change my mind. But I think it's stupid, and I think it'd be cooler if it auto-locked on characters, kind of like a red shell would. Like imagine a Kamik item where you could auto-lock on a character, you know, target, missile a character, and instead of doing whatever it does right now, it would like, what if it instantly made them small, kind of like the lightning thing? I think that's a cool idea. You know, it instantly, you could, instead of, you know, making all the racers small, you get to choose, oh, the racer in front of me is going to be small. I think that's a cool idea. And, you know, maybe slow them down, whatever. I think that's a cool idea. I think that's a better idea. Maybe a little bit more simple, but I like that idea better than whatever they're doing. Not a big fan. Yeah, no, not a big fan. They nerfed the Bullet Bill like crazy. Rest in peace, Bullet Bill. I don't know if this is a real thing. I don't know if this was a beta thing, but it doesn't hit players anymore. That was the whole point of the Bullet Bill, is that it can damage the people in front of you too. It just made sense. It's a Bullet Bill. It's literally a bullet. You're telling me a bullet's not going to do damage anymore? Stupid. Stupid, 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 stupid. Also, I just thought of this. I know it's never going to happen, but it'd be funny if they added a red Bullet Bill that like purposely goes out of its way. Like you'll transform into it and it'll purposely go out of its way to target the people in front of you. I feel like that'd be way too OP, but a funny idea. Or maybe it'll just target like the first person in front of you. Maybe that's how they can patch it out. So you'll get as far as whoever the next person is, but you also damage them. I don't know. Coin shell looks very gimmicky, looks stupid. Stupid item. Just a filler item. I think more shell variants are a good idea, but coin shell is dumb. Like, make a Buzzy Beetle shell. Do something fun. Do something fun. This coin shell, I guess you could argue it's fun, but it's not useful at all. Unless coins make you faster. I don't know. If coins make you faster and you can collect all the coins behind it, then okay. Well, the shell can make you faster too. So, okay. There could be some function there. Bring the Tanuki tail back. I feel like this is a game where the Tanuki tail would have made sense to be brought back. Because especially, put some more functionality to it other than just like dodging items and stuff. But the Tanuki tail would have been cool. And I think the horn got eliminated as well. I think the horn would have been cool in this game too. But back to what I said, character exclusivity, item exclusivity too. Like, it makes those games fun to play because, this is the only game where I can use the horn item. You know what I mean? Pretty cool. I think it makes sense in some senses. But that is my main rant. Big things. Story mode would be cool. Like I said, I'm not even fully mad at this game. I'm not. But I do think a lot more can be put into it. And I've heard that the open map... Final thoughts. I've heard that the open map is not that exciting. Don't know how true that is, but IGN said it, so it must be Bible. It must be true. Let me know in the comments if you have the game and if you play the open map. And let me know what you think, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. But, if the open map isn't that cool and that's one of the main selling points of the game, that's going to stink. Not cool, dude. Not cool. But, people, it's still going to be the highest selling Switch 2 game. It is. Nothing's going to pass it. Nothing. Not even a Smash. A new Smash is not going to pass it. It's just not going to happen. Mario Kart can be enjoyed by families. Smash, not so much. And that is the thing, too. You could go back to the Fortnite thing that I've been talking about. Make Mario Kart like Fortnite. It's time. It's time. I'm not even trying to say that to be goofy or funny, but I feel like this could be the game where it makes sense. And because Fortnite's so casual too. Make Mario Kart, competitive and casual at the same time. If you add the ranked system, a proper ranked system, and also keep your core of Mario Kart with the costumes, everything, it's just, it could be Mario Kart Fortnite, but it probably won't be. Because, I think they want to make more games and stuff like that. But that is my gist of my rant. Pretty long video. Had to say it. Had to put it out there. That is pretty much it. Okay. Love you guys. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.